This is a story of Gideon, God's servant. Israel was trembling. Their land had been ravaged by the Midianites, cruel oppressors who swept in like a swarm of locusts, stealing crops, destroying homes, and leaving God's people in despair. Hiding in caves, crying out for help, Israel was broken, weak, and hopeless. And then God looked not to the strong, not to the mighty, but to a man named Gideon, a man hiding in fear, threshing wheat in secret, just trying to survive. Gideon didn't look like a warrior, he didn't feel like a hero, but God saw what no one else could see. The angel of the Lord appeared and declared, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." Gideon must have looked around in disbelief. Me? A warrior? He felt small, unworthy. He even protested, "My clan is the weakest, and I am the least in my family." But God wasn't asking Gideon to be strong on his own. God was saying, "I will be with you." So Gideon obeyed. He gathered an army of 32,000 men to face the vast host of Midian. But God whispered something unimaginable. Too many. One by one, the numbers shrank. First, 22,000 left, then 10,000. Finally, only 300 remained. 300 against an army too large to count. From a human view, it was impossible. But God was writing a story where the weak would display his strength, armed not with swords and shields, but with clay jars, torches, and trumpets. Gideon and his 300 surrounded the Midianite camp. At Gideon's signal, they smashed the jars, raised their torches, and blew the trumpets with a mighty shout. A sword for the Lord and for Gideon. The enemy panicked, turned on each other, and fled in terror. And that night, victory belonged to the Lord. Gideon started as the least, the weakest, the most unlikely, but God chose him, not because of his strength, but because of his weakness, so that all would see. It was God's power that brought salvation, and the truth remains today. God still chooses the broken, the humble, the weak. If you feel small, if you feel overlooked, if you feel like you don't have what it takes, remember Gideon. Remember that God delights in using those the world considers unworthy to display his glory. For when we are weak, then we are strong by God's might. God chooses the weak to make them strong. Trust him.